Hello everyone. Um, Welcome back to my channel. I am going to talk about TOEFL speaking. I know that I haven't been active on my channel because I was a bit busy, but I intend to do more videos from now on. So let's get started with TOEFL speaking. Before we start, I would like to explain a little bit more on the type of tasks that you will be asked to do in terms of TOEFL speaking. Altogether, there are four different kinds of tasks, and each different types is its own form of challenges. And I will be explaining to you how you should approach those one by one. So there, as I said, there are four different kinds of speaking tasks. The first one is it's independent speaking. So what it means by that is that in terms of independent speaking, you have to share your opinions on a topic that um, provided in the questions. It could be anything. It could be your lifestyle. It could be your opinion on environment and conservation, your challenges, etc. But you have to talk about it for about 45 seconds. And number two is what we call integrated speaking one. For this question types, you will have to listen to a conversation, read a passage, and then report back about what you have heard and read in a conversation and the reading passage. So at first, you will have to read an announcement of the school or a letter written by a student in order to provide a proposal to some changes on campus, and then you have to listen to the conversation discussing on the particular announcement of the change that the student suggested. There are two different speakers in a conversation. Usually is a female and a male, and one of them agrees or disagreed with the announcement or the proposal. So they will be given their opinion, usually two different kinds of reasons for supporting for that opinion. And what we have to mainly focus on is what point did they made, what kind of claims they made, and the examples or like supporting points that they make in order to provide reasons for their opinion. And the third one is similar, but it's not the same. You will also have to read a passage and listen to a audio, but the reading passage here is concerned with a subject, so it's more like a an explanation of a certain topic, and then you're going to have to listen to a lecture um, explaining about the topic that you just read. Usually, the professors provides his experience as a sample, or sometimes he provides experiments that he has read concerning with the topic that you have just read. So your main task is to look for the definition of the title of the topic that you read, and then explained about it in 1 minute about the um, about the topic with the explanations provided by the professor. So the lecture will take like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the reading is 45 seconds and 5 sentences. So you have to combine all of that and report back in your own words with your own understanding. And moving on to the last one. The last one is just the lecture. So this lecture is a bit longer than the previous one. It would take about 2 minutes, sometimes more, sometimes less. Main point here is you have to listen to the lecture describing a topic, and usually it comes with this flow. First, the professor explains about the topic that she will be lecturing about, and then she explains about the topic by giving points. And sometimes usually there are two different points and two different examples. Sometimes it may be more than this, but usually in that order. Introduce a topic and introduce the subtopics and explain each one by giving examples. And your task is to combine everything she said and report back the same way as the third one. Report back with your own understanding and your own take on the points that professor has made. So the real challenge here, the real thing that they're looking for is your pronunciation, um, and delivery. And delivery is in a way your pronunciation and language use and topic development. So when we say delivery, it's clear and fluid speech. You have to speak in a manner that is easy to understand and clear and easy to follow. And you also have to have good pronunciation. This one doesn't mean that you have to have American accent. You can just have any kind of accent, but the one listening to your conversation should understand what you are trying to say. So good pronunciation also important. And natural pace. You don't have to be so slow or so fast. It has to be a pace that is what we use when we talk to somebody. And good intonation. Sometimes when you describe your experience, it's better if you could smile when you talk about the memory that you cherished, and sad if it's not something that you cherish. um, doesn't have to when you smile, they can hear you smile in what in your accent, and that is a good thing. um, and language use is mostly concerned with the use of vocabs and grammar. So here, what you should do to show off your fluency and lexical resources, you should use um, transition words like however, on the other hand, things like that. It is advisable to use those in order to show off your fluency. And you don't have to use too complicated vocabulary or usage. You don't need to use them to show off your fluency. You can just stick to what we usually use in our daily lives. And the topic development is how organized your speech is. So here, in order to show off your topic development, you should use a certain format. Sometimes teachers, they share certain template or format that you could follow, and that is a good practice. The use of template doesn't cost you any scores. Of course, if you use it words by words, it could affect your way of speaking, and it could affect your points. But if you just use the structure of that template, it doesn't cause any problem. So I will be sharing more on the structure that you can use for each kind of task, and how you should approach them. So you can just subscribe to my channel and wait for them. Also, it's also important to express your ideas. Your ideas doesn't need to be, um, so out of the bounds, or so ordinary. It can be weird, but you have to have reasons for it. You have to assert the logic to the points that you're making. So however weird that idea may be, if it makes sense, then it works. So it's very important to make sure that your logic is there and your reasons are making sense. And also connecting ideas. Sometimes students find it hard to connect ideas uh, between idea number one, idea number two. Um, Things like this happen, but like I mentioned, it is a practice. And if you could practice more and more, you will be able to grasp um, the exact necessity in order to have a score of more than 25. So this will be the end of my video for today. I will be sharing more on speaking in coming future. Of course, I'll be using Burmese in order to explain those formats. But for now, I just wanted to make sure that you um, can also understand um, what I'm trying to say in English, and in order to make sure that you can actually have um, comprehensive skills in terms of English. So it's just a test drive. Don't come after me. I'm just testing. So if you like me to speak, can continue speaking in English, just give me a comment. If you don't, um, that's okay. You don't need to give me comments. Anyway, just share your opinion on the quality of my videos. Of course, it's not that good, I know, but it's always good to have a second opinion. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next videos.